Be honest here, we have got confirmation of what is the worst, one of the worst things that happened to Caitlin Clark before the WNBA season started.
Picture this, it's 2023 and Caitlin Clark is facing a storm of criticism over her Nike deal. The internet's on fire, calling it unfair and racist. But there's AIA Wilson quiet as a mouse watching it all go down. Why? Because she's got a secret fast forward today. Boom, the truth comes out. Wilson's had her own Nike shoe in the works for 2 years. Can you believe it? She let Clark take all that heat knowing she had a deal too. Now fans are turning on Wilson. And it's not pretty. This is the story of how one of the WNBA's biggest stars just lost it all. All right, you're not going to believe what just happened in the WNBA world. Remember all that drama last year with Caitlin Clark's Nike deal? Well, hold on to your seats because things just got a whole lot crazier.
And it is confirmation that A'ja Wilson, who was at the time prior to Caitlin Clark, the face of the WNBA, sent an angry mob towards a 22-year-old and knew exactly what she was doing.
Picture this, it's 2023 and Caitlin Clark's Nike deal is announced. The internet explodes. Everyone's losing their minds, calling it unfair, racist, you name it. And where's a Wilson in all of this? Quiet as a mouse. But here's the kicker. AA knew she had her own Nike shoe coming for 2 whole years.
A'ja Wilson had to keep her Nike signature shoe secret from her parents for almost 2 years. She showed them the A1 the day before the official reveal in their side.
Can you believe that? Now you might be thinking, wait, what, AA had a deal this whole time? Yep, you heard that right. While Clark was out there facing a firestorm of criticism, AO was sitting on this massive secret. Talk about a plot twist.
The key takeaway here is she kept it a secret for almost 2 years while watching all of the backlash, all rage, all of it.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Remember that tweet had just sent out late, not denied at the time. Everyone thought she was playing the victim, like she'd been passed over for a deal. But now we know the truth. She was already set with her own signature. She was playing us all along.
Whatever posting that. And a lot of people thought, oh, she was posting that in order to get a signature shoe. Because it did get pushed a few weeks later. Not only was that not true, she is confirmed she had to keep it secret for almost 2 years. So for almost 2 years, she knew about this.
And let's not forget about Caitlin Clark. While all this drama was going down, she was out there absolutely crushing it on the court. We're talking about a rookie who broke not just 1, not 2, but 62 records. Can you even wrap your head around that she led the league and assisted making jaws drop left and right, all while dealing with this intense scrutiny and criticism? Now you might be wondering, why didn't AOS say something? Why let Clark take all the heat? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? AA had to shut down all the controversy. She could have stood up and said, hey, let's embrace Caitlin. There's room for all of us. But instead, she chose silence. And that silence, it's speaking volumes now.
You say, oh, she's an NDA. There is nobody, and I mean no NDA, that makes it so that you have to pretend, you have to play victim and pretend you don't have a shoe when you have one coming. You have to stay silent. You don't have to. Especially when you saw what was happening.
Fans are furious. They're calling AA out for what they see as shady behavior. Some are even using words like race baiting to describe her actions. It's like overnight AA went from being a beloved star to someone fans are questioning big time. But wait, there's more. This whole situation isn't just about AA and Caitlin. It's got people side eyeing Nike. 2 fans are saying Nike played into this narrative, letting a rookie take the fall for their PR. Some are even saying Nike stock deserves to take a hit over this talk about collateral damage. You know what's really wild about all this? AA probably thought she was riding a wave of sympathy, but now that wave has turned into a tsunami of backlash. Fans who once adored her are now feeling betrayed. It's like watching a house of cards collapse in real time. And speaking of collapse, you won't believe how fast AA's fan base is crumbling. Remember when she was the WNBA's golden girl? Well, those days are over. Fans are turning on her faster than a crossover dribble, and the fallout, it's like nothing we've ever seen before.
And I'm going to tell you, A'ja Wilson is getting dragged to hell. And I mean,
You might be thinking, okay, so AA messed up, but how bad could it really be? Let me tell you, it's worse than you can imagine. We're talking about dire fans, people who lived and breathed AA Wilson, now saying they've lost all respect for her. Can you even picture that level of betrayal?
I mean, people are literally like, oh, no, you did not let all of that go down. She sat back and watched all that outrage and just let it happen, by the way. Let it happen.
One fan didn't hold back spitting fire on social media. You knew it was basically in Nike's lineup. She lost a fan in me. She knew she had a signature shoe and played into the hate of Caitlyn. Getting one that's disgusting behavior. Whoa, talk about a mouthful of anger. But can you blame them? This fan's not just disappointed, they're downright disgusted.
You saw that every single thing, you saw that all of this was just generating hate towards a 22-year-old, who, by the way, had never played a game at this stage. She was a 22-year-old who never played a game. A 22-year-old. You are nearly 30 years old. You're nearly 30 years old. Knowingly sending an angry mob towards a 22-year-old player is awful. That's just awful.
And it doesn't stop there. Another fan dropped this truth bomb she knew for 2 years about her shoe deal, but still played the victim over Caitlyn's 2 years. That's not just keeping a secret. That's practically living a double life. Fans are feeling played, and they're not having it anymore.
Like, it was just objectively wrong. On a human level, fuck basketball at this stage. On a human level, this is wrong. So she knew she was getting a shoe for 2 years, still pretend like she wasn't when they announced 22 shoe, leading to the hate train against a rookie for no reason.
Now, you might be wondering, what about Nike? Don't they share some of the blame here? Well, you're not alone. Fans are coming for Nike too, saying they should have stepped in and shut this whole mess down before it got out of hand. They're saying Nike let Aya's silence feed into this ugly narrative about Caitlyn Clark, and now everyone's paying the price.
By the way, the hate train might have happened anyway. But it quadrupled, like, with her pretending that it was like she had been slighted and all this. And you could argue maybe she was slighted by Sabrina getting one before. But doesn't give you an excuse to take it out on a 22-year-old.
But here's where it gets really wild. You know how social media can be brutal, right? Well, what's happening to AO right now is on a whole other level. Fans aren't just mad. They're going nuclear. They're digging up old tweets, old interviews, anything they can find to show how two-faced A's been. It's like they're on a mission to expose every little inconsistency in her story. And let me tell you the stuff they're finding. It's not pretty. Every old comment, every past interview where AA talked about shoes or contracts, it's all coming back to haunt her. Now fans are piecing together a picture of someone who knew exactly what she was doing when she stayed silent about her own deal. You know what's crazy? It's not just casual fans or Twitter trolls doing this. We're seeing longtime supporters, people who've had OD jaws back through thick and thin, jumping ship. It's like watching a house of cards collapse in real time. 1 minute on top of the world, the next she's watching her reputation crumble before her. Social media is absolutely blowing up with people expressing their shock and disappointment. It's like every few minutes there's a new tweet or post from someone saying they've lost all respect for AA. The sentiment is clear. Fans feel betrayed, and they're not afraid to say it loud and clear. Now you might be thinking, okay, messed up, but couldn't she have fixed it? Well, get ready, because we're about to dive into all the chances AA had to be a real leader, and trust me when you see what she could have done. You'll be shaking your head. Even harder, let's play a little game of what if for a second. Imagine if I had come out swinging for Caitlyn Clark. Instead of playing the victim, picture this. steps up to the mic and says, hey, let's embrace Caitlyn Clark. She's good for the game. Boom. Just like that, she could have changed the whole narrative, but nope, AA chose drama instead.
Asia Wilson never came out and was like, hey, let's calm this drama. There's no reason for this. Let's tamper this down. Not everybody has a full story, yada, yada. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember any of that happening, which tells me she's more than happy playing the victim. She's more than happy playing the victim.
Or here's another scenario. What if AA had just kept her mouth shut? I know it's hard to believe, but sometimes silence is golden. Instead of tweeting out that delayed, not denied nonsense, she could have just let the storm blow over. But no, AA had to stir the pot. And now she's left holding the spoon.
Was tweeting the second Clark's deal got announced, what's delayed is not denied, and then made this whole thing about, then started posting about how basically people of color will never get these opportunities.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Aya could have used her platform to shut down all that hate Clark was getting. Think about it, a veteran player standing up for a rookie. That's leadership. Right there, that's the kind of move that makes fans and sponsors sit up and take notice. But instead of being the bigger person, AA let her ego run the show, and now she's paying the price big time.
A train might have happened anyway, but it quadrupled, like with her pretending that it was like she had been slighted and all this. And you could argue maybe she was slighted by Sabrina getting one before. But doesn't give you an excuse to take it out on a 22-year-old.
You know what's crazy? Fans are saying AC could have been a role model, someone for young players to look up to, but instead she chose to be petty. Can you believe it? A chance to inspire a whole generation of ballers thrown away because she couldn't handle someone else in the spotlight. Now let's talk about the fallout, because it's not just about hurt feelings and angry tweets. We're talking about missed sponsorship opportunities, lost fans, the whole nine. Yards companies love athletes who show leadership and sportsmanship. They want to see players lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. But she just showed them she's not that kind of player. And you know what's really wild? This whole mess could have been a golden opportunity for AA to show she's a team player, that she's all about growing the game. Instead, she's got fans turning their backs on her left. And right, it's like she forgot that in sports, how you act off the court is just as important as how you play on it. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about AA. This is about the whole league. When veteran players support rookies face fan criticism, it's not just good for them. It's good for everyone. It shows unity. It shows class. But she chose division. She chose to let a rookie take all the heat while she sat back and watched.
Victim. How great would Asia be if she didn't have that mentality? Because she can play. By the way, she plays all the time. Nobody wants.
Now you might be wondering, is this the end for AA? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Isn't her reputation's taken a serious hit? That's for sure. Fans who used to cheer her name are now booing from the sidelines. And let's be real, in today's world, public perception is everything one wrong move, and bam, you're trending for all the wrong reasons. While talk about a fall from grace, AA Wilson's story is like a wake-up call for all of us. It's not just about how good you are on the court anymore. Integrity, that's the real MVP here. And you know what it's got us all thinking. Do we want our sports heroes to be honest? Or do we just care about their game? But here's where it gets really interesting. This whole mess isn't just about AA. It's shaking up the entire WNBA. Remember Colin Kaepernick's stance caused a huge uproar. But it also got people talking about some really important stuff. Now we're seeing something similar in women's basketball. So what's next for AA? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, the WNBA is never going to be the same, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. Maybe it's time for fans to step up, demand more transparency, and create an environment where players lift each other up instead of tearing each other down. Can you imagine how awesome that would be?